Hi everybody, welcome to Chapter 16. Chapter 16 is going to talk about three different things: lines, angles, and shapes. So today we're going to focus on 16-1, which talks about the three types of lines. There are three kinds of lines that we're going to discuss: parallel lines, perpendicular lines, and intersecting lines. Parallel lines are straight lines that will never ever touch. Now remember, by definition, a line is a straight angle that will go in two directions forever. So that's why I have my arrows at the end of each of my examples. So these lines, no matter how long they go on forever, will never ever touch. My second type of line is a perpendicular line. These are lines that intersect or cross over one another to form right angles. So what I have here is one line going up and down and one line going across, and as you can see by my square here in the corner, they form a right angle. So this is an example of a perpendicular line. Another way I like to remember that is perpendicular lines starts with P. This looks almost like a plus sign, so that's one way I like to remember that. Finally, the last set of lines are intersecting lines. These are lines that will pass through or cross the same point, but they do not form 90-degree angles anywhere. So you can see these two lines cross at this point right here, but none of the four angles are right angles. These two lines cross right here, but none of the four angles is a right angle. So that's what makes the difference between an intersecting line, which crosses over one another, and a perpendicular line, which crosses over one another but forms right angles or 90-degree angles. So what I have here is a diagram to kind of help us find each type of line. I have a diagram labeled A through G. And what I'd like to do now is find two parallel lines on my diagram. So I need to find two lines that will continue on forever but never ever touch. And when I do that, I see that this line here, vertical, and this line here is vertical. They will never touch. No matter how far I extend these lines forever and ever and ever, they will never touch. So a set of parallel lines, an example here, would be line, I'm going to put the line sign, A, B, and line C, E. So the line sign goes above it, and I write CE. Next, I want to find a set of perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines, again, are lines that cross or intersect to form right angles. Well, I see right here, I have a right angle, and right here. So I have two choices here. I'm going to choose to find AB, line AB, so line AB, and that is perpendicular to line FD. Line FD. Right here is where they cross over and they make a right angle. I also have an example here with FD and CE. They're going to cross here to form a right angle also, so they're also perpendicular lines. Finally, I'd like to find a set of intersecting lines. These are lines that are going to cross over or pass through the same point. Well, these two we said were perpendicular because they form right angles. They cannot also be intersecting. But I have lines that cross right here, at this point, and this point. So an example here could be line AB that intersects with line DG, right here. I could also do line CE that intersects at this point with line DG. So I'm going to say for intersecting, we have line, I'm going to choose this one here, line AB, and that intersects with line DG. So again, there's only three types of lines that we need to worry about. parallel, perpendicular, and intersecting. A quick way to remember parallel, if you look at the L's in parallel, this is how I like to remember it. The L's in parallel will never ever touch. I think of the lines being never touching also. Since the L's will never touch or cross one another, my lines in parallel will never touch or cross one another. Thanks a lot. I hope this tells you about the three types of lines. Thanks for watching.